rapture, part 2. As mentioned in my last video, there are 3 different categories of Christians that believe in certain things regarding the tribulation. You have the first category of people that believe in what is called the pre-trib, where they believe that the church is not going to go through the tribulation at all. God will rescue them just before that great and terrible time of human history in an event called the rapture. You have the second category of people that believe in what's called mid-trib, where they believe the church is going to go through partial of the tribulation. In the second half, the most intensified half, they will be rescued. And then you have the third group of people that believe in what is called post-trib, where they believe the entire church is going to go through the whole entire tribulation. I personally believe in pre-trib, and I'm going to tell you why. But before I do, I want to say my opinions are my own. You can agree, you can disagree with me. I really don't care. But I just want to let you know, when that trumpet sounds, I'm going to tell you on the way up, I told you so. I can give you many examples. I can give you examples from the Jewish feasts. I can give you examples from the scripture themselves. I can give you examples from the events that happened in the scripture. I'm going to try and keep this as short as I can, while also trying to give you as much information as possible. Number 1, the events in the Bible. Ecclesiastes tells us, what has been will be again. What has been done will be done again. There's nothing new under the sun. Meaning that history repeats itself. Time is cyclical. You start off in diapers as a baby, you end up in diapers as an old man. Jesus says that his return will be like the times of Noah and Lot. So let's see what happened during those times. Jesus said that during the time of Noah, people were eating, drinking, marrying, and being given into marriage. You know what that sounds like to me? Things are pretty normal. People are eating well, people are drinking well, people are marrying. When you marry, that means you expect to have a long future together. No one marries and they know that they're going to die within the next several hours. That's not normal. Now we know that the world is getting more and more corrupted and more evil. God comes to Noah and he says, Noah, I see that you're the only righteous man in your generation. I want you to build an ark because I'm going to cause a great flood that's going to destroy everyone on this planet. We don't know how old Noah is, but we know that he has 3 kids at 500, and at 600 years old, the flood begins. We also know that it took several decades to build that ark, which means that God probably held out that judgment for a very, very, very long time. Now, some say that Noah was probably preaching and warning people that a flood was coming. Now, I want you to imagine those times. No one has ever seen rain before up to that point. People were probably mocking Noah. A flood is coming. What are you talking about? Why are you building that for? Why is it so big? And I'm sure that Noah had to have a lot of faith to also believe that God was going to do what he said he was going to do. Then suddenly, Noah turns 600. And God says, Noah, get into the ark. Take you, your family, and all the animals. Then Noah gets into the ark, and then it says that God himself shuts the door. Noah doesn't shut the door. God shuts the door. Pay attention to that because it's important to what I say later on. Then simultaneously, the people are probably all watching Noah go in there, taking the animals, and they're saying, what is this man doing? He got all those animals in there. This man is crazy. And then they say, what's that? And they feel a raindrop. And then boom, sudden destruction out of nowhere. They all get washed away. And the only one who survives was a righteous man named Noah and his family. Notice how there's a righteous man in an evil world. Notice how God warns him that there's going to be a sudden destruction of the entire planet, but he never tells them the date and time. Notice how he prepares while the rest of the world is caught off guard. Notice how the judgment takes a long time before it happens. Notice how just before the cataclysmic judgment of the entire world is about to happen, God tells Noah to go inside of the ark, and God himself seals and shuts the door so that no harm comes to Noah. Notice how God didn't tell Noah to swim in the waters for 20 days out of the 40 and then say, you can come into the ark now. Notice how God didn't tell Noah that he could swim in the waters for 40 days out of the 40, and Noah didn't know if he was going to live or die. Notice how no harm came to him whatsoever during that cataclysmic judgment. If we read the parable of the 10 bridesmaids, I'm not going to say the whole story, you can read it yourself, but Jesus talks about how there is a groom, the groom was coming, the groom was delayed, meaning him. He comes eventually, some of the bridesmaids are not ready for him, some of the bridesmaids are ready for him, the ones that are ready, they go with him into the door and they attend the wedding feast. The ones that aren't ready for him, the door is locked. Remember, the door. Right now, there is a door. That door is currently opened. It will be opened for a season. And just like the story of Noah, that door will eventually close. And when it does close, those who are left here will have to endure the tribulation in the judgments of God. Now let's talk about Lot. Lot, a righteous man, is inside a wicked and corrupted city, and God is going to send a catastrophic judgment on them. The angels warn Lot to get out of the city because judgment was coming, and Lot believes them. So Lot goes and tries to get his 2 future sons-in-laws and tells them what's about to happen, but they don't believe them. So they get left behind. Lot is still taking too long. So the 2 angels forcibly grab his hand as well as his family's and take them to safety, which is key to the rapture. Once they're out of the city, the angels tell them to run for their lives and to not look back. Lot turns around and asks the 2 angels, "Can I run to that village over there, for it is closer?" And they're like, "Yeah, I will grant that. I won't destroy that tiny village. Just hurry up and get there, for we can do nothing until you get there," meaning they can't start the judgment until they get to safety. They eventually get to the city, and Lot's hard-headed wife looks back, and she gets destroyed. That is also a symbolism for something else that I would love to talk about, but I'm not going to right now. Notice how there is a righteous man in an evil city. Notice how God warned the righteous man about the cataclysmic judgment that was about to happen. Notice how the righteous man believed him. Notice how the righteous man warned others, and they did not believe him. Notice how the judgment didn't start until the righteous man was taken to safety. Notice how no harm came to the righteous man or his 2 daughters because they followed instructions. Stay tuned for part 3.